Alright guys, really quick, I wanted to make this video the other day, and if I don't have, the vehicle pulled in my garage, I generally, end up with a lot of people coming by to visit, and it's just so loud, man. There's so many people coming. So as much as I love it, don't get me wrong, I love that and I love saying hi to everybody, and the kids playing and stuff like that, but it doesn't work for making videos. So I didn't get a video of doing the alternator actually, but you guys know me. I mean, when I get some better equipment, I'll probably do more videos, where it's set up for me taking stuff off. But for right now, I just kind of doing like walkthroughs and what's going on and what I'm doing. And it seems like some of you guys like that. I mean, it's not too hard once I show you exactly the bolt to take off of what to do and what to move out of the way that you can't kind of picture it in your own mind and do it. So I kind of think this works out well too. So I'm going to go ahead and walk you over here and show you how to do the alternator change on an Rd1 because I had forgot there's a little bit more involved when you have the engine drop. It's actually a little bit easier because the space it creates is not as bad to get the alternator out. But I'm going to show you so you don't have to take the intake manifold off, all the others, because I believe it's been a while since I read the official, like, Chilton's manual guide, Honda, or anything like that. And it tells you, I think, to take the intake manifold off or something ridiculous out of the way that is just a pain in the ass. But I'm going to explain to you how to do it here that isn't too bad. You can actually get it out without doing any of that. So, all right, so what you're going to have to do, so I'm going to show you from the top and then I'll show you down the bottom. So you can see the alternator right there, right? You see the right here. It's got our 10mm nut on there. You got the square plug. Most of you guys are going to have square plug if it's in the US. I think all of you pretty much. But you're going to want to get that off first. You're going to want to disconnect your battery cable. Otherwise, you're going to be arcing if you hit the wrong thing. You want to take that plug out, take that 10mm off. You'll usually have a little rubber gasket piece on there, but this one just fell apart because it's so old. So as long as you angle it the right way and nothing touches it, you'll be good. So yeah, you're going to want to start with those. You're going to want to take, this is a 14mm nut, or you're going to need a 14mm wrench, let's say that. And you're going to want to take this bracket off. You're going to pop this power steering hose off. What you're going to do is, to make it a little bit easier, is you're going to take these two 10mm bolts. You're going to lose some power steering fluid, so be ready for that. You're going to pop that and move it off wherever fits for you. You're also going to want to, because you're going to have to do, I would suggest at this time doing your power steering belt and your alternator belt. And if you need to, your AC belt too while you're at it if you're down there. But I'm not going to explain how to do the AC part of it. But you're going to want to loosen this nut, which is going to be a 12mm, and that one right there, if you see it, which is going to be a 12mm. And that's going to allow you to move your power steering pump and push it down a little bit and get that belt off. So you're going to get that belt off, that power steering belt, and then you should be able to get to the AC belt is going to be in the way. So if you see, it's kind of hard to show you. Right down there, see if I can get it to focus. It's really hard to see, but you'll see right where my finger is pointing, there is a tensioner nut, and you'll see it. And it's really tough to show you guys. There it is, right there. See that little nut poking out with a head? That it's really tough to see right there, but you can see it. You'll know what I'm talking about once you put your hands on it. It's another 12mm nut, and you're going to loosen it, and then you'll be able to adjust the tension off your AC belt back and forth. And once you do that, once you take that tension off, you'll be able to move the AC belt, because that's going to be, because it goes power steering, AC, alternator belt on your crank pulley, just for anybody who needs to know. So back to the alternator. So what you're going to want to do is, you're going to want to unclip. You're going to want to unclip this. I left this one unclipped because it just screwed up. I had to bend the clip back, and I haven't put it back on, which I'm not really worried about. Like I told you, just beat or CRV. You're going to want to plug that orange plug and just get it out of the way. It makes it easier, trust me. You're going to want to unplug the blue. See the blue clip right there? unplug that, move that away. That will allow you to be able to move this whole cord out of the way. You're going to want to unplug this sensor. This sensor, you're going to use a 19mm wrench or adjustable wrench. Just unscrew it right out, gets it right out of the way, put it up here or wherever you need to put it, get out of the way, and then that will leave you clear to be able to wiggle your alternator up and get it out right through between this space. And trust me, it will fit. You just got to kind of wiggle it around just right and get it. But before you take that out, there is a bolt at the top of the alternator bracket that's going to be, it's kind of hard in my hand fit, but it's going to be right straight down here. It's going to be a 12mm nut. You're going to need 12mm to get that off. And that is one of the adjuster nuts that slides so you can adjust the tension on the alternator. The other nut that you're going to need, there's only two that hold it in on the actual alternator, is going to be right there. See that? That's a 14mm wrench you'll need on that. You'll loosen it, and then you'll push that bolt all the way out. I have a flat side of the head on it. The other side will be completely flat. That fits in there just right to hold the tension when you tighten it. And you're going to want to slide that all the way out. When you slide it all the way out, it's going to be still tight. You're going to have to wiggle back and forth that alternator and get out, pull it out. And then after that, I would suggest definitely, like, you know, maybe a little bit of grease, WD-40, just to loosen up. But yeah, that's just the two bolts you need. And some of you guys may still have your wiring harness connected on a little 8mm head bolt. And if that's so, you can, I mean, I just ripped it right off. I was able to pull it off, tighten, and you know, you don't really gotta worry about it. But it's there if you want to put it back on, take it all off neat and nice. Really didn't bother me to, you know, take it off there. It's not hitting anything. It's just kind of there for precautions and something they did from the factory to keep it all nice and neat. But yeah, that's basically all you need to do to get it off out of the way. Just remember, power steering pump, loosen it, move the power steering main line out of the way, move the bracket, move the orange plug, move the wiring loom out of your way, unplug everything, loosen the 12mm nut on top, take that plug from the sensor from the intake manifold, which is a 19mm wrench or adjustable wrench, whatever works for you. Take that 14mm nut off down at the bottom and move the stud right out. And then yeah, just wiggle it back and forth, and once you remove all that stuff, you will get it out. Put your belts back on, basically do the step reverse just like that, and it's not too hard. It really, on one I've already done, like after I pulled everything set, like both mine, I can pull my alternator in and out in, geez, like 10 minutes. It's honestly not too bad at all. But as far as the if you're replacing the belts, it's going to take you a little bit longer, because then the belts you can't just kind of move out of the way. You actually have to take them all off, put them on. So if you have replaced your belts and your belts are good, once you take the tension off everything, you don't have to take those belts off. So that even in turn makes it a little bit quicker. So that's what I mean when I was saying it takes me about 10 minutes. If I just need to replace the alternator, take it off for a certain reason, that's what I do. If you're going to replace the belts, of course, you got to take tension off the AC. You got to take tension off the power steering, which you have to do that anyways, just to get in there. Well, you know what? You scratch it. You wouldn't even really have to do that if you're just trying to replace your alternator and your belt is still good. But that's just something you want to do if your belts are bad or you need to get in there and really need some more room. So just to let you guys know. And then if you have that rear, the plastics, you know, the rear splash guard or front splash guard on there, then of course you're going to need to bend that out of the way a little bit too. But there you go. That's a walkthrough on how to do the alternator on the RD1. It's not too bad. If given time I do another one, I get a little bit more of a chance to get some better footage for you guys, I will. But basically that's the walkthrough. It's not too bad at all to do that. If you have any questions, leave in the comments. I'd love to hear from you, and I could definitely try to help walk through. Or if you're like, hey, Tom, I don't get that one part. Can you explain it better? I most certainly will try my best to do that for you. Maybe even make like a personal video and send it to you or something. So hope that helped, guys, or I hope that helps, guys. Like I said, if you can like, subscribe, share to my page, that'd be awesome. I'd appreciate that. I appreciate all you guys that are already. And stay tuned, because this thing, I'm going to have some fun stuff for it soon. In fact, I already have some stuff sitting in the garage, so I'm excited for that. All right. Have a good one, guys.